I was reading on the internet about what a father of the bride speech should be. And it should be a warming and uplifting speech about his daughter and son-in-law's future. This speech obviously is going to be slightly different, because obviously I ain't father of the bride. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming to help us all celebrate. So, I'd like to talk a little bit about my mother. I've known her since the day I was born. And seriously, I think with parents it's kind of a very strange thing that you don't really appreciate them until later on in life. And certainly I think when you have kids yourself, it really makes you appreciate what your parents did for you. You know, going through being a teenager and all that, you're just like, whatever mum, whatever. And you know, they're only out for the best for you, really. So I think Mother did a great job bringing my sister and myself up. And it makes you appreciate it even more when she...
Come on, darling, come on, come on.
She did it single-handedly. So yeah, so that, you know, she did a great job. So really, you know, I started writing down some good points about my mum. And really, it's quite a long list of all of Mother's good points. Sorry, that's my back joke. But yeah, she does really, as you all know her a lot. She's got a lot of good points. I didn't want to get into the detail. You know, she's always there. She's there to help people. You know, she's just there's everything about a person that you'd want to be a good person. You know. That's my mum.
Come on, darling.
So, kind of I was thinking back about the speech and looking at what I could write, and one thing sprang to mind immediately about my mum and what she did for me. And really, she was there for every football, rugby and cricket match that I ever played. And she was the loudest supporter you've ever heard. Honestly, I can still hear her voice in my head today. Come on, Mark! And you know, at the time, it was a bit embarrassing. You know, you're a teenager and your mum's at every football match. You think she'd, you know, David Beckham or whoever. And really, you just don't appreciate that kind of thing at the time. So really, you know, I hope that I could have that kind of level of commitment to my kids.
Yeah, have a drink.
Oh dear! What is happening? Come on, Nelly.
It is. I want it together. Anyway, that's the emotional bit over with. So, I look back on those times with fond memories, and Mum did a great job with both my sister and myself as we were growing up. Yeah. So, moving on to sort of Mother's other characteristics, gardening. As you know, she's a keen gardener, and she can't help but do a bit of gardening. Every opportunity, we went up to her on holiday to a fantastic castle in Scotland, and we were all sat there in the garden having a few beers, and Mother's over in the corner doing some weeding. And even in the commenting book on the holiday, they must have thought she was crackers. Really enjoyed the holiday, fantastic place, lovely garden, lovely settings. I did a bit of weeding for you. Seriously, is what she wrote. And so yes, any excuse for Mother to do a bit of weeding. Which brings me nicely on to the gardening cosy. From that reaction, most people have seen Mother in the gardening cosy.
You bought it, Mark? Cards as they did when your mum was gone.
No, exactly. It really is a sight to behold, and for anybody that hasn't seen it, basically it's udders and leopard skin. And she truly is an inspiration for gardeners everywhere. I don't want to milk it. But I think she should start her own line of designer gardening clothing with gardening cozzies. I was going to bring a picture, but I thought that was just a step too far, because, you know, it's all in your mind. Fantastic. Unfortunately, there's some really bad news. The current gardening cozzie has had to be retired. But with the sun starting to make its way through and summer coming, we're hoping there's a new one going to be born. Roll on the gardening cozzie. Mother's got some unique phrases about her. Some of the words and phrases that she comes up with are just unbelievable. And I think my sister and I have both inherited this, so I really do think it's kind of a genetic thing. So this unique gift, I'm just going to run you through some of Mother's phrases, because for me they just make me laugh every time. So the language of my mum is podgage. This means porridge. Petal pops. It's a term of affection. Darling Warling. That's another term of affection. Marky Muss. That's me. Nick Nack Noo. That's my sister. Angel Wangel. She has a lot of terms of affection. Crippets and Bickets. They're crisps and biscuits. You'll get a duff in the juff. I think that actually means if you know what I'm going to smack your bum. And finally, eat what you can and can what you can't. I have no idea what that actually means. So, you know, she's got some amazing sayings. So I wanted to keep this speech short, so I could perhaps go on for too long about that. So I guess I'd like to talk a little bit about Kevin, and it's only a small bit. I'd like to welcome you into the family. Although you do already feel like a piece of the furniture already. And we've had some great times, you know, and I'd really like to wish my mum and my new dad all the best in their married life. I know we've got many more good times to come, so I'd like to make a toast to my mum and Kevin, the bride and groom.
Cheers.
So that's it from me, really. I wanted to hand over to Rodders at this point, and I was going to build him up really big, but it's over to Kevin. So coming after Kevin for one night only, live. I'd like to hand over to Kevin.
Okay. Well done, Mark. Well done. Mark, first you got a job there, marvellous, and I'd like to welcome all of you to this do. I mean, most of you I've absolutely been paralytic with, but you know, just the way it goes. No, it's all right. You're focused at the moment. It's the best when I've had a couple of drinks. I'd like to really say how happy I am to be part of Pat's family, and marvellous that everybody's here, that we wanted to be here. I mean, it could have been a lot bigger, and it could have been a lot more involved, but we wanted just close friends, family. And really, I think just welcoming or being accepted into Pat's family is great. And I would like to also thank my family that's here, which is really just James and Joanna, for being here. Marvellous. Lovely.
It's so shiny.
Yeah.
Daddy, it's so shiny.
I'd like to thank the bridesmaids, pasteboards, how lovely they looked, and how marvellous they behaved. They were wonderful. And without them, it would have been a totally different wedding. Yeah. So, thank you. Great. Loved it. We both did. I'd like to thank Rod as best man for being his usual self, which is normally incoherent, unintelligible. And anyway,
You think it's Jim?
I'm not doing it. And I'd like to thank everybody who's helped, and that's family, and a special thanks to Linda and Kim for all the little flowers. Now, come to the bit I really don't know how to do. I want to talk about Pat. And I just don't know how to talk about it.
Try.
I want to try. I'm just going to try. I'm just going to say I love her to bits.
Hey,
What do I do? Apparently there's one more thing I've got to do. I've got to go down here and pick up this. Whatever it is. It's a bouquet.
It's here, it's down.
Flowers, and I've got to go down this table here. March this way. Evan, thank you very much. Here you are, Mother. Thank you very much. For you.
Get it ready.